And we are live. Welcome to today's question and answer session with Craig Campbell SEO and Chris Palmer. And we're sponsored by the News Guy, which the logo is above, link is below. Check out Randy, the News Guy's digital PR service. But Chris, I'm also trying something different with the title in my next few videos. I've got Craig Campbell and Craig Campbell SEO in there. This motherfucker, that's the famous Craig Campbell SEO. No, not Craig Campbell SEO, Craig Campbell.
Singer.
So Holly starts is like, have you ever seen his videos? And I'm like, no. And she's like, I've been looking at them and they all have something and then Craig Campbell after them. So he is smashing the shit out of the Craig Campbell thing. So I now need to smash the shit out of the Craig Campbell thing because realistically, on all of my YouTube videos, I don't have Craig Campbell on there.
Well, yeah, and you'll have video, then the images, the website, the articles. Craig. Who's got more Craig Campbells out there?
Him, which is
for
why
now.
Yeah.
Right now he does. Yeah.
So that's why.
Till tomorrow.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, like you've said in the past, Chris. If you want to dominate for, I don't know, black hat SEO or CTR manipulation, there needs to be multiple videos saying that you're the dominant force. And obviously, when you've got a famous guy with that fucking name, I need to be the dominant force for my own fucking name.
For sure.
So I'm going to have to go down a rabbit hole and put out a whole bunch of reels with Craig Campbell all over the place. And you can see
images.
What I'm doing here. You know, what's my name, Chris?
Craig Campbell.
Yeah.
SEO.
Well, that's the thing. Do you go for Craig Campbell SEO or Craig Campbell? I need to mix that up as well.
I'd go after that SEO. The unique identifier. Think about the guys or gals that have unique names. How easy is it for them to go get the panels, show up? Easy, slam dunk. Like, why couldn't your name be Estefer Da Vinci?
Yeah, something random.
Yeah.
That's where I kick myself, Chris. There's a lot of guys out there who don't use their own name. Me and you must be the only fucking douchebags in the world of SEO who use their own fucking real names. Go after something that's just easy. I was actually speaking to Jason Hennessy a couple of weeks ago about it, and he's like, yeah, Craig, I've got a fucking mad serial killer with my name as well, who's got a lot of press. So,
Great.
Yeah, it's, there's a bunch of us that use our real names, of course, but, could you have come up with something a bit like a stage name, like these actors do? Come up with something wild and wacky.
Destiny Palmer.
Yeah, Destiny Palmer, or I don't know, Chug Palmer or something, man. Just something wild like.
Could have. I wasn't thinking that. I was like, my name's Chris.
Why would you lie?
SEO. Chris Palmer SEO.
But here's the question, right? And guys, put your questions in the chat. First come, first serve. Anything you like, ask whatever you want. But I've got a question for you, Chris.
Yes.
I can't believe he's just pulled out a crown. Is that what we're resorting to now? Props?
No.
Props.
I won't say. I saw a prop the other day. It was hysterical, like coconuts.
Oh, man.
Funny stuff.
But my question, Chris, knowing what you know now and being ball deep in everything, if you could start again, or if you were starting again, would you change your name or would you stick with Chris Palmer? That's the first part of the question.
I would have started multiple assets at once, and I would have aimed to put my most trusted confidants into position faster.
Right. So, give me if you could only choose one name, and it wasn't Chris Palmer on one of these profiles, what would you go for? If you had to pick now in the next
Josh Fletcher.
seconds. Josh Fletcher. Why the fuck? I know him.
Or Josh Nebb. These are kids that I grew up with in Florida.
Oh, no, because there is a guy called Josh Fletcher in the SEO space.
Okay, maybe not that one then. Jake Fletcher, Josh Fletcher, Josh Nebb. something like that. Yeah.
I was just curious. I was just crazy. I was expecting something wild like Destiny.
No.
Over.
Well, you said stage name. It was the first
Yeah.
thing that came to me. Destiny, Star. You know.
I could see you as the.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Fred.
Oh, moving on. But yeah, I would have. I like the brand. See who hindsight's always 2020. I would have put more people in position, and I would have been branded on top of my name, and I would have kept my name associated to consultation and training as
Uh-huh.
opposed to branching out.
So
But
Chris Palmer, consultant and trainer, and then you'd have just had mini brands for all of the other shit like link
well,
building.
yeah, like services, monthly, managed, whatever it was, it would be a brand. It
Yeah.
would be a brand with an expert that could say yes or no. Like,
Why would you do that? Because it's a sellable asset or something else? Is there another reason why you would create a brand? I'm just
um,
curious to your thing because obviously creating a brand, let's say, I don't know, fucking douchebag link building services, obviously that's something you could go on and sell on for a lot of money and it doesn't have your face attached to it. I get that, but is there another reason or is that the
well,
reason?
everyone says build personal brand, right? But if you spend a decade building up your name, of course it'll be a success. But look at Google. Do you think they're like, oh man, we should have been Larry Page? You know.
Yeah.
So I think anything that you put that decade behind could be a success. The only reason would be to have more assets in the water. Plus, Google rewards brands. So why tie everything back to my name? Because who
Yeah.
knows what the world will bring? Like maybe Chris Palmer wants to do RV boats. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wish I wouldn't have done that. Too late now, decade in, yeah.
Yeah. We're fucked. We're
At
fucked.
least be in public.
I do regularly tell people like
I didn't
I
even
done,
know about that. I'm
I
sorry.
done it wrong. I done it wrong. Like you look at um, Brian Dean and stuff like that. Backlinko sold it to SEMrush for however
Yep.
many million.
Figurehead with a brand.
Yeah.
But
So
we didn't know that. Like when
yeah,
we first started, I was trying to get clients.
yeah,
I'm Chris Palmer. Come see me.
yeah,
Right? I wasn't thinking 2 decades ahead of time,
yeah,
but
yeah.
not like now, like Alex Hermosis and these guys say, or the Gary V's. Like, I don't remember that, 15 years ago.
Nah, that shit wasn't around.
No, I was like,
The-
I'm going with my name.
my hero, like I've said a million times over, 15 years ago was a guy called Matthew Woodward. He had
He had a name.
his name on there,
That's right.
and that was it. He was just chilling, doing his affiliate thing. I'm out fishing today, and wrote a little blog of how much money I've made. And you're like, man, this guy's
That's
balling.
Yep.
This is the guy I want to be.
Success leaves clues.
Yeah,
Yeah. What's the blueprint, Matt? Show me.
yeah,
Yeah. I know what you're
Money.
saying, but I'm watching what you're doing. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah.
yeah.
But still, when he switched over, even with the name, like his name was ringing bells in
Oh.
2012, 2010,
Yeah,
right? And when he switched over to that brand, he took a decade and a half to build that,
yeah.
his name. And then he switched. And then you probably know the name, but do you
Search
know the company?
logistics.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
But
obviously he's always just been the guy I've looked to, and obviously I still keep an eye on what that motherfucker's doing. I'm just like, motherfucker, what else have you got there that you're not giving up? Give me it.
And
But,
the way he shifts through product, class act.
oh, the guy is a
He's
fucking
got
beast.
it. Yeah.
And he's fucking semi-retired. He is a fucking beast. In the nicest possible way, by the way.
Yeah.
But he is an absolute machine. For someone who's semi-retired, man, he's still got it. Absolute legend.
And then Fred comes in with a zinger.
Yeah, Fred's got an important question here, Chris, that we'll get straight onto. How long does it take you to get it up? I'm assuming he means the GMP.
Websites or GBPs? Yeah. Websites, depending specific key terms, maybe within as soon as you launch. vanity terms that they really want in big cities, 8 months. 8 months to be in the top 3. Like, I could hit first page quick, almost guaranteed for almost anything. But, ranking number 7 and ranking number 3 are wildly different.
I'm Chris, see if there's ever a question that you're not comfortable with. Always
Me?
just say skip. I am not sure that guy meant GBPs.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at these people. I look past them. Like, I just keep going. Yeah, like, Fred, all right, Fred, like,
I'm
we're talking about SEO.
Fucking straight face. But yeah, it's a nice answer. But
thank you.
Fred,
class act.
You're a naughty boy. But
Fred.
Question for Supreme. I'm curious. You obviously do your knowledge panel stuff. Curious to know, in terms of a ratio, what are people doing, business panel or personal panel, in 2025? I'm just curious if more people are building business and brands that way, or are they still doing the old personal thing? Just curious.
Yeah, but look at what is it? Semantic hierarchy, lexical graph. If you look at the lexical graph of entity, if I'm a person, I am a brand.
Yeah.
I am a business. I am a company. The company, just like local business, is appended in schema markup to organization. The organization is the brand, and then it's ran by these people. The experts are these people. I think they're one and the same.
Yeah.
So if you're going for personal, well, what do you do? What's your business? When was it founded? What's your logo? Boom, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by this or no?
Yeah.
I think they run right next to each other.
The reason I ask it, Chris, is you've obviously got guys out there loosely. I'm not going to name names or anything. It's not fair to do that. Guys out there saying just build a personal brand, build a personal brand, build a personal brand. And they're ramming that down people's throats, where some guys like us are like, sure, build a personal brand.
You got 10 years and you got burn money.
Consider that, resale value and blah, 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 blah. I've done presentations. I think I've done it in India. Build a personal brand, yes. But guys, fucking consider this. Brian Dean sold up this brand for X amount of million. So, yeah, personal brand's good, but consider assets and shit like that. So I try and go a bit deeper with it. So,
but think about that though. The amount of time, build a personal brand. Think of the personal brands that are out there just in the SEO space, right? Names. How many can you name? 10?
Yeah.
How many guys are out here doing it though? Thousands?
Yeah.
So like not everybody can see the vision through.
Nah. And fair play to guys like you who have sat like a fucking donkey churning out videos. Rainy October evenings, Sunday night, boom, there's another video. Boom, there's another one.
Christmas Eve.
Doesn't matter what fucking day, time,
rain, sleet,
holiday,
snow, or sunny.
in hotel lobbies, fucking whatever. And I think that obviously is obviously a massive part in the success. Is actually taking the time to go and do all of that as well. So, yeah.
I took a break though. When you sit down for even a month, 2 months, like, and not even where production of, information is super low, but you just take a break to 3 or 4 times a week as opposed to 7 to 14 times a week. Massive difference.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
crazy. Yeah.
Casbula, he done a video a day for like 18 months. 18 fucking months. It's remarkable. I'm not saying he sat there every single day. Like one day he would churn out 9.
Yep.
You could just sit there, but they were being launched daily. So yeah, it's
that's what I'm shifting to. I think that's the way to go.
Oh, dude, fuck it. You can chug out 9 in, I don't know, 3-4 hours and send them to a video editor and
I know, but I've realized not only do the people that get the most success, but also the people brands, ladies, men that have the longest term. What's that word? Like the lowest amount of churn. And plus, I actually build relationship. I work on their business. Like I've been seeing the same names for so long. I like doing the lives, the interactions, the comments. Like you really have to give them more time. Like just cranking out the videos is cool, and that's like top of the funnel.
Yeah.
But if you actually want to help somebody, I think it takes so much time.
Yeah.
Yeah, big.
Nerdy says Chris is going to pick some bully from his childhood and jack up the rep. That's when you said, what was the guy you grew up with?
Josh Neb?
Josh Neb, yeah. But
he used to have wolves.
But
terrified going to his house.
Franklin has a question, and thank you for coming, Franklin. It's good to see you. A long time guy that comes and comments on a lot of stuff, so we do appreciate it, Franklin. What's working for you now in terms of SEO, Craig and Chris, in the AI search? I know you do a lot of local stuff, Chris. Is AI really going to impact what you do, or is it still game on for local stuff? Do you see much changing?
It's changing for players that are entering the market now. If you're a local business owner entering the market now, I think to reach any level, it's going to take you longer and it's going to cost you more. Just like with everything, like all types of marketing, it's not that they're not effective, it's just they're less effective. And there's new ways of doing it. So it's not that it's changing, it's just evolving. Right?
Yeah.
There's still new angles and you find them every day. But like being able to throw up, I rent a truck and hey, we're doing gutters and dominate maps. Those days are over.
Yeah. I think my advice, Franklin, to people in general, obviously what works for me and what works for someone new to the market are two very different things. I have got a couple of e-com stores that have been around for a long time. It's no different from anyone else. AI and AI overviews and everything else, of course, we're getting shoved further down the rankings in terms of organic and stuff like that. I don't solely rely on organic for business. I haven't done for a number of years. I do a lot of paid ads. I do a lot of other stuff to make sure that the business runs like a real business. Essentially, I want traffic coming from as many sources as I can that are cost-effective sources. And SEO still is something that I thoroughly enjoy and play around with and everything else. But it's by all means not 2015 anymore, and all of my eggs are not in content heavy websites, trying to do affiliate or things like that. I moved away from that probably end of 2020 when Amazon kept cutting their commissions and stuff like that. I started to see the writing on the wall in terms of those type of websites and the kind of helpful content updates and everything else. You're just like, oh shit, like there's people don't want these websites around for one reason or another, whether it be Amazon don't want to pay us commission for them, or Google don't like content heavy websites. So I kind of wanted to diversify traffic sources and stuff like that. And also with COVID, with YouTube, with everything else that I'd done, I just felt that there was other ways to get traffic, get business, get leads, and do things differently. So I think a much broader approach to marketing is something I have implemented anyway. And certainly for new guys, are you going to come in and just churn out, a one-page website on an exact match domain and just fucking dominate? You're not. There's a whole bunch of work that has to go in. It's a pain in the fucking ass to do. And it's like you say as well, Chris, with local and maps and everything else, it's getting harder and harder and harder, and there's more hoops to jump through, and you've got to think a bit smarter. It's no longer a case of just cranking these out and they all stick and all that stuff. There's all these little nuances in there that you need to figure out. And whilst guys like yourself or Slaughter and stuff like that are still finding success with it, it's no one can tell me that it's getting easier. That's for sure. So the barrier to entry is a fucking pain in the tits. It is what I would say. And if anyone thinks that they're just going to come in and they've read someone say 2015, yeah, bought an exact match domain and just cranked out this, that, and the next thing, and fucking $5,000 a day was falling into my lap or whatever. Not quite as easy as that, man.
Sounds good though.
Yeah, that's the dream. Show me where those are. I'll fucking go and crank them out as well. But I think for me with AI and everything else, things are changing, things are evolving, and we have to evolve with it and embrace it and play with it and understand how it works. And that's what we've always done anyway as SEOs. It's believe it or not, prior to GMBs and stuff like that, it was just organic search. There was no fucking map listings, and I can't remember what year it was. It was like 2011, 2010, something like that. The map listings came out, and everyone's like, "Oh fuck, organic search is dead. Fucking map listings are taking over." Whoa. We evolved. We embraced it. We took advantage of it, and dealt with it. And again, that's just how SEO goes. So that's how I see it. And no matter what obstacle they put in the way, then there'll be guys like Palmer and me and other guys going, right, how do we work around this? Where's that fucking traffic and where's it going to? And how do I get my fucking head in front of it, or my face or my form, whatever you've got? And that's the important part to figure out. And if that means jumping on YouTube or jumping on Reddit or jumping on Twitter or fucking walking down the street with a sandwich board, I'm pretty sure if that was a thing, people would do it as well. So, yeah, that's how I've always embraced it, Franklin. But guys, keep your questions coming. It is fucking died a death with these questions. I do not know what the fucking hell is going on with these questions. But guys, keep your questions coming because there are a whole bunch of you there. People there's 24 on Twitter alone listening, just from Twitter. So, guys, let us know any questions you've got and put them in the chat, and we will answer them as quickly as we possibly can. Just making sure it's streaming on all platforms. It is on all of the platforms. So, yeah, there are people there. Let us know where you're from. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, all of that stuff. I can sit and talk with Chris all day long about different stuff. So if you don't, I will ask questions. So put them.
So no, you don't do video tags, huh? No tags, no hashtags, no video schema.
No. Do you do all that before?
1,000%. So in Restream, I'll schedule it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go out of my way to make sure that everything's tuned.
I don't.
And then we're going for SEO.
And I've also stopped going after keyword specific stuff all of the time because I'm getting sick and tired of going after the same shit because it's the same questions, link building, GMB.
But that could be an initial interest because there's volume to get eyeballs.
Yeah, but my theory is, Chris, if we say we're doing a session and it's on GMBs, then it might put off people who want to ask questions about link building. That's why I've made it more generic, if that makes sense. Yeah, I just try different stuff. But we do have a question here from Robin. Do you have any advice for getting a GMB profile verified for a location? I had it up and running previously, but I rented a virtual office and tried to move my business there, but it got suspended. So, suspended is very common. How do you get it out of it?
Well, suspended is generally going to happen, but let's talk about the virtual office because I think it'll be more valuable. I'm not sure what state you're in, right? But there's different types of virtual office and or what do they call these shared office spaces? They have another name too besides virtual office. In any case, like a Regis or a Da Vinci. You know, if you are willing to take entire inventory, let's say that at 321 North in Houston, they're going to sell 3 different offices, right? If you're willing to take that inventory plus another location, maybe one across the, I'm going to take the inventory over here at this other location. I'll take the inventory here. I'll take the inventory here. The goal is to go northeast, southwest. So let's just say that you have at least 10 a month. They'll give you a broker, AKA a salesman. But if you're taking the entire inventory and you're worth it on a monthly recurring basis, you can get them before they're listed. Or right when the inventory is hot, like as soon as they get it, as soon as it goes onto the market, before it gets listed on Da Vinci or Regis or the big ones, and then all the small guys pick it up, and then everyone and their brother, including Google, knows that it's a virtual office. Mm-hmm. You'll have that inventory. So I think playing that game, at least what I've seen to success, is generally going to be you're buying more than 1 or 2. You're getting inventory before it hits all the little small guys. Like no one even knows it's a virtual office. It's more costly, but it's safer, and it's all about longevity. So that's my best advice. As far as the suspended, why would I want to start with a initial hurdle in place? See, you might be able to get that suspended listing back. There's 2 things. There's 2 ways of getting it back. One is you just do an auto reply back or go through their little appeal process, and you can fill out whatever you want, right? And it's a 50-50 yes or no to get it back. But no matter what, when you come back, you're never going to get the proximity that you want, and you're never going to be as strong as you could have been. The other way that I know is get rid of that listing and start fresh. I think that's much better. I'd rather just start fresh. But if it's an existing business, I understand it sucks to lose it. But unless you have like 100 or 50 reviews, when it comes back, it's going to be weaker forever. Some people will tell you, oh, no, I could get it back, but follow the dollar on that particular, I've never seen them come back as strong or stronger. Never stronger.
Yeah.
So just fill out all the forms, and it's either a 50-50 shot that you'll get it back. And that was a soft suspend. The other way would be just remove that one, go into a new profile and create a new one. The best way that I've seen guys scale and ladies, companies scale big is they're getting inventory before it hits the market. Because how else are you going to be able to rent a place and be able to get a lot of these bigger ones will do whatever you want. Like they'll stage for a fee. At 50 or $75 a location, $750, $800 a year to have a location. Jeez. That's the way to go. Go and buy 10, Anyway, there you go. That's what I have for you.
There you go, Robin. Hopefully that helps you.
Wrong time.
Nerdy has a question for you, Chris.
Okay.
For local city level exact match domain name, what is the quickest way to get it ranking, and what foundation links do you get?
Quick is relative. What's quick? See, quick to me would be under 8 months, right? If you want to be a winner. And again, getting onto the first page, you could probably do in 3 to 4 months. If you're asking, did he ask about organic? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he said foundation links. So, I mean, you'll get your easy wins or quick wins. But to reach big success, I think, if it's in a good city, more than 75,000 people, 100,000, 250K, 450,000, the big cities, the ones that you actually want, and then all the surrounding areas. 8 months. If you get there before 8 months, that's quick. And then the second part of the question, what is the quickest way to do it? Okay, so how do you do it? First and foremost, you can't be the expert in more than one thing. Like, what's your expertise? Like the business, let's look at plumbing because there's so many different variations. But inside of there, what are you a specialty? Is your specialty residential or commercial? Do you do toilets? Do you do sinks? Like, what's the specialty? And that's what you lead with. So first and foremost, establish exactly your best services and you double down on that. That's your primary category. That's your products. That's your services in GMB. That's the traffic that you're sending. That's the reviews that you're talking about. And then as far as the pages are concerned, if you want to get up there faster, you have to think about what matters to Google. Well, they spend all kinds of money understanding, like they even have everything mapped where they could see each street. Like they know if you walk out on your phone, if you're actually on the street. Mm-hmm. That's how many dollars they've spent, right? So with that level of precision, think about, well, what they spend their money on. Well, they made databases of location. They made databases of zip codes. They made databases of launches and lads. They made databases of entity. So, okay, well, if you're a plumber and you're in Houston, what are the launches? What are the lads? What are the zip codes? Okay, you're a plumber. What are the LSIs? What are the entities? Great. What's your primary location? What's the variations? Get the stuff that matters to Google for optimization. It's no longer just packing the keyword in. I need to pack all the variations, the LSIs, the entities, the longitudes and latitudes, the zip codes, and I need to get traffic. And that's how you win faster.
Hopefully.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. We actually had in my mastermind, people were asking that question. And obviously, the session was based around that. What's the quickest way to do it? And obviously, there's guys out there like Nerdy who do a lot of really hyper local stuff in very niche markets, and they don't barely have to do fuck all to get it ranking. You know, and that's always the argument, because what works for Nerdy and what works for another guy who's in Dallas, for example, two different things. So, you know, it's always good to get that kind of question, you know, foundational links, because Nerdy's like, yeah, I don't bother with links, and I'm like, fair fucks to you, mate. If you can get away for ranking without doing any links, fucking fair play, man. It's
very valid point. You didn't, in all of the I know there was, I told you a lot because I'm just going through like a process of, okay, what needs to be on the page, but I didn't even touch on the links. You know, yeah. I think I need to establish who I am, what I do, and where I do service. But if you don't do no aggregators at all, you're not listed on Foursquare, you don't have a GMB, you're not nowhere, none. You don't have a GBP, no Bing, no Foursquare.
He's not even doing blog comments or fuck all.
Well, I could see that, but he doesn't have a GBP.
No.
Or a Bing Places.
Nope.
Nothing. And then you're winning in Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Los Angeles, New York City.
He's not winning in big areas. That's the thing. He's in a very niche market in very specific areas, so he doesn't have to.
Well, then there really is no argument, Nerdy.
Yeah. So, but you know, he wasn't arguing. The point I like to make is what works for Nerdy isn't going to work for everyone, because if you're in LA, that what works for Nerdy can't work for you. There's just more competition.
Exactly. Much better. So much nicer.
Yeah.
But man, if you could get away with it, I always want to do the least amount of work though. Oh, yeah. That we can definitely agree on.
That's what Ted Kibaitis always says: do the minimal amount of work, and you know, if that means throwing up fucking title tag and you know, a bit of old AI content, and you can rank well, and that's all you have to do, then fair play.
And that comes up a lot too. Like I'll help people in the mastermind, or like I'll ask, hey, can I show stuff? And it'll be like easy stuff. But then I'll go through processes where it's like, okay, here's all that we had to do in LA. And they'll think that they'll have to do that in, you know, some town you never heard of in Florida.
Yeah.
Not always. I agree with you, Craig. But they never call Craig or Chris when it's not Houston, LA, Dallas. Yeah. Unless it's a friend. They're like, hey, Chris, could you help me with this? Yeah. I'm like, all right, I'll do
it. Good evening from Saudi Arabia, says Michael Ortega. Good to see you, Michael. Robin, you will give that a go. Absolutely. Good luck with it, Robin. Franklin, How do you promote your YouTube videos for views, optimize for engagement and ranking on YouTube search? So I think I am trying something different just now. You know, when I was speaking to Chris there and he's going, there's no tags, there's no this, there's no that. I am trying something different, but typically, you know, you want to optimize what you can in a YouTube video. You know, your title, your thumbnail, put your tags in, all of the kind of stuff that's on there. But obviously, engagement is super, super important. And Chris has given away on a previous session on here probably too much. And at the time where you were talking about the kind of 3 key points, 24 hour, 48 and 72, you know, if you're going to spike your traffic or force engagement or create engagement or whatever the fuck you want to call it, you have to consider those parts as well. Engagement is going to help you rank well is the main thing. Now, how do you promote that? Now, you've either got an emailing list, you can use social media. It doesn't matter. Get people watching and engaging on that fucking video. However you do it, whether you pay for it, whether you cheat or whatever it may be, you need the views. And that is critical. And like Chris says, I don't want to give too much of anything away on that side, but you can't just go and fucking spike it straight away, and it all looks unnatural, and then the engagement falls off because your ranking's not going to stick at that point. So, you know, anyone could go out there and spike traffic at the very start. Like Chris says, will YouTube come back and check and give you more and more and more if they feel that video is actually useful and being engaged with by real people is what you're trying to make happen. And, you know, like I say, you can use money, cold hard cash, and advertise and all of that kind of stuff.
If you have a channel already, find the one, you know, watch time is very, very important, you know, but what I would be looking for is where were the subs at? Which ones did you get the most amount of subs on? Like, if you actually have a channel, go to that video, find the one that has exorbitant amounts of subs, and find the hot areas in the video. Like, you'll see the spikes. Go take it into like what's this? Like, you know, that thing that takes out all the cuts.
Yeah.
Cut out all the crap, like all the talk, the fluff, and then just stack those parts together, and then run ads on that video.
Yeah.
And dude, you will get. That's the way, my friend. Like, it works exceptionally well because that's all. It's top funnel. Because those people that have watched or engaged past that 15-second mark, I know it's 30 that I have to pay out, but if they engage past that 15-second mark, in my opinion, I do believe, like, if they don't just bounce right away, because you'll see the fall off when you're running ads. Like, there's 5, there's 10, and then there's 15. If they make it to that 15, those people, I guarantee you, YouTube serves it to them again.
Yeah.
Always, 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 always. So you want to get the hottest video with the most subs on it, trim it all down so it's just the hot stuff, send it to as many people as you possibly can that are in your demographic. Like, go into your back end and download the exact places that people are coming from. Like, you can download not just country. You can download the cities, the towns, the states, all that stuff. Download that and run to those areas your hottest video, your hottest based on subscriber that's been trimmed. Serve it to as many people as you possibly can. Like, don't just set up like the easy one. Like, make sure they only get to see it one time. Like, I don't want to serve it to them twice. I'm not going to, you're not, you know, that's crazy. But there you go. That's I found success with that.
But yeah, I think cold hard cash is the best way, Franklin. All the kind of goofing around and stuff, micro workers and all that kind of stuff's kind of not as effective. Not something I would really want to be fucking around with on something.
Can you bring that to a business owner? Hey, here's the process that I'm going to do, and it worked all these other times. if there's a 1% chance of risk, the business owner will say no every time. But if I say, hey, I'm going to be able to spike everything and it's just going to cost you an extra $1,000 a month, well, we'll try it for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So,
like there's no pushback at all.
Nah.
It's easier.
But Edward has a question. How important is local SEO for boutique hotels? When you dominate your local SEO, will you appear in AI? So, boutique hotels, first question, how important is local SEO for something like that?
I don't have experience with hotels. That's a very unique niche. Hotels. I've done travel clubs, timeshares, airlines, limo drivers, but I do not have a very good answer. I know there's many nuances with hotels. I can't speak on that. I'm sorry.
I used to do a lot of stuff in the hotel niche. Now, my devil's advocate brain here is going to say, like, see if I want a hotel in Portugal or whatever, am I going to Google and searching for hotel in that area? No, is the answer. You know, if I want a place to stay, I'm going to booking.com, I'm going to Airbnb or something similar. I think there will be people who absolutely do search locally. But I think for the majority, it's the people who are regularly booking out hotel rooms. You know, Chris, if you're going to Dubai, for example, are you Googling place to stay in Dubai or hotels in Dubai, or are you just going to fucking booking.com or something similar and sticking in the area there? Like, what do you personally do?
I find the exact area that I'm in. Like if I'm going to Dubai, like I would look in. Like if this is the hot zone, I'd look around,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would go to each. Like I would zoom in and look for the hotels, and then I would look at the reviews.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do. Because if I go anywhere and I read a blog article or if I see a post or like stuff like that, I know it's just they're chasing money.
Yeah.
So like I can't believe that. So, but I can believe like if they have 2,600 reviews and they have a 4.7, I believe it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what I do, especially if I'm going to lay down my money, even if it was a nickel.
So I'm not saying it's not the right thing to do, Edward. I just think people's behaviour, in my opinion, are going to be swayed towards a booking.com and things like that. They've just got that sewn up for hotels. You know, people are just using those apps.
Well, once I find the one I want and I go to the site, they want $497 a night. I go to booking.com and it's $222. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I apologize.
Yeah, I think, or even at that, you know, if I get the name of a hotel and I want to do a Palmer, I don't sit and zoom in on a map. I skip that part. But I would go to TripAdvisor. I'd find the name of the hotel that looks decent, or someone said was decent, and then I'd be going to TripAdvisor, and then I'd be going to Booking.com. And that is just how I do it. But the second part of that, you know, when you dominate local SEO, will you appear in AI? Not necessarily. I don't think being dominant on a SERP with your own website is going to get you into AI. Like we've said previously, depends on the SERP, but
if you're dominant in search, yeah, you'll win in AI, but not linking to domain.
yeah,
Google just takes that. They're like, oh, you're getting some traffic over here. I think we'll just take that. Thank you.
But my thing when people ask these AI questions is your boutique hotel, for example, Edward, would need for it to be dominant in AI or appear in AI, it needs to be on other websites other than your own. So you dominate in local SEO, or you saying that you're the best hotel in that area on other websites, that is going to get picked up by AI before your rankings does. So, corroboration of people saying that you're the best hotel in that area is what AI want to see.
And I think you're right too, Craig. There has to be you can't match every single thing that could be said about a business or a person, but there has to be authoritative source to back up at least 37 to 40 of those statements.
Yeah.
And then when you start reading the articles, the ones that the brands that are really doing it, they just seem to hit like that 37 or 40. Like, dude, it's crazy. Yep.
Yeah.
So I can't get around spending money.
Nah.
Why did it have to be this way?
Yeah. It's painful. And obviously we talk about it a lot, and I always say to people, like, I hate to say it because I don't like spending money any more than the next guy. But it is. It's you do need budget for a lot of things now. So there you go. Franklin, no problem at all. Guys, keep your questions coming. We have about 10 minutes left. So if you've got anything you want to ask Chris or I, put it in the chat and we will answer them before we wrap up. But Robin is saying, could something like 3 Local work for e-commerce? What the hell is 3 Local? 3 Local. Driving hungry buyers to local businesses. 3 Local.
I see Local 3, but
3 there is
Local?
A 3local.com.
It's looks like a service to me.
Yeah. 3 Local drives ready to buy local customers straight to your business. You're falling behind your competitions using 3 Local and you're not. Don't know. It could not. I've never heard of it. I don't like to promote something I've not personally tried as such.
It's a service though.
Yeah.
And I mean, all the photos and all the phrasing and all the words are geared around maps. So my instinct is no. But,
But sometimes, could it work for e-commerce? I mean, I don't know if we've got the right website, but
yeah, that's true.
Local stuff, a local SERP's the main focus of an e-commerce SERP. It shouldn't really be. I mean, it can be, but realistically, if you're doing e-com, you would want to be sending it all over America. You wouldn't want to be focusing on, I don't know, fucking Pennsylvania or something like that when there's, customers all over the place out there. So I think pushing very local specific stuff, yeah, it could bring you in business and all that kind of stuff, absolutely, but I'd be thinking bigger than that for e-com in most cases. But again, depends on what you're doing, what you're selling, and all that stuff. So, there are local e-com stores who probably do very well from local rankings. But Debussy Sports, which works better for long-form real estate SEO? ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude? Asks Debussy Sports.
Go to Avrax and see which one. That changes rapidly. Everyone has an opinion on that type of thing. Who's the easiest for you to train on? Which model is the easiest for you to tune? Like ChatGPT makes it easy. You can upload JSON or text. Gemini or Vertex makes it very easy. I never mess with Claude. That's up to you. I think it's whichever one you're most familiar with and which one can you train on. So any of them but Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, Meta, Grok. Who's got an API that I could train or tune? It's that simple.
It's a good answer. Whatever one's the most manipulatable. Is that a word? Manipulatable. I'm not sure, but yeah, good answer.
Yep.
Um,
I would probably, me personally, I would lean towards Google product, but maybe I feel like I work for Google. I must say the word Google like 50 times a day.
yeah, and you probably don't realize you're saying it. That's the worst thing. That with such a brand like that, like it rolls off your tongue, and I think it rolls off everyone's tongue. Like, yeah, just go Google that. Go Google this, or can you Google that for me? Like everything is just Google, and I think subconsciously now you're fucking trained. Your brain's trained into just saying that. It's wild what they've done,
And that's just normal humans.
Yeah.
Like think about SEO, like maps. Then there's YouTube. It's like, oh my gosh,
it's
ever consuming. That's why I love it.
Yeah,
There's always more to learn. Never can get enough.
Yep. Well, I don't know about that, Chris. I don't know about that. But
I mean, as far as a job goes,
yeah. I know. Listen, I've said to people before, Chris, I have had some terrible fucking jobs, real bad jobs with real pricks, being the boss and all that stuff, and that's why I always stayed in my lane. When I got involved in SEO, I'm like, nah, this is actually repetitive and stuff, but there's a lot worse out there, shoveling up shit and digging up roads and whatever else people do. It can be grim.
Could be, a lot worse.
Franklin's got a question. Which are the toughest niches you've worked on, and how did you dominate in those competitive industries? Chris, you can go first.
Real estate at first until I figured it out. Personal injury law. Like there's certain aspects of personal injury law that are very, very difficult in certain places. You're playing against players that have been around for some 40 years, 50 years. That was tough. But then stuff that it looks easy, but then I got there and I was like, oh my God, this is very hard. Like water damage restoration in Fort Worth. Oh my God. Foundation repair, Dallas. Oh my goodness. DUI attorneys in obscure places. So probably real estate, water damage, law. Dominate. Foundation repair. We got page 1 and we rank in the map pack. I wouldn't call that domination. Real estate, we crushed. Law crushed. How did we do it? The big separator between success and non-success is 3 things. 1, allocation of time and resource. 2 was the dollars to back the idea. Mm-hmm. And then I guess it would still be people. Would be 3 would be the executioner. So you have strategy, you have the dollars, and then you have the time and the people. That's the separator. If you have those 3 things, you could do it. Usually people run out of either patience, time, or money before they can reach success. Mm-hmm. So each one of the successes that I've had, there was other people besides just me thinking about it where we could meet together. There was other people being able to execute other than, the team that I had at the level that they needed to win. And they had the funds to do whatever. They had the funds to pay for the time to have people think about what to even do. So time, dollars, and people. And those are the niches. Craig?
Yeah. I mean, I have worked over the years in a lot of different spaces, but I think the iGaming space is probably the toughest and the one that has the most aggression, and some of the tricks that people are playing and everything else, and it kind of plays into what Chris says. How do you do it? You need money. You need a team. You need to be on the ball in terms of strategy, what works, and everything else. And in the iGaming space, if you look at the SERPs and you see what works and what is ranking, I mean, sometimes you're absolutely flabbergasted at things that people do, and things like that. And on top of that, with the iGaming space, there's regulated and unregulated markets. So obviously, iGaming is illegal in certain places, and people who work in that space have to then come up with ideas on, one, how to rank, and two, how you're going to get the customer onto your website and signing up, whether that be doing redirects or stuff like that. You've just got to be really creative when you're working in illegal markets, and you've got the government coming after you, and you've got all of this kind of stuff. So technically, you have to be pretty switched on as well, and that is why it makes it tough, because people can't be asked. And when your websites are getting taken down, you've then got to have redirects put in place and move and there's traffic out there regardless of whether it's legal or illegal, but you've obviously got the governments and Google and everything else trying to shut you down. So it's how you move is where a lot of these guys become very creative, and I thoroughly enjoy watching and seeing what these guys get up to and learn from it. So, but big budgets are needed, and big teams are needed, and experience and everything else is all there as well. So, yeah.
Sometimes there's niches though, like the crypto casino. Like going after some of those big terms is hard, but once we realize to go after specific games,
yeah,
and then you build the buzz on the name of the game, like Panda Pie Gal or whatever.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
Listen,
I've ran across that a lot.
It's like anything, Chris. You can rank for shoes, or you can rank for very specific types of shoes. Why would you go after shoes generically when it's probably a lot easier to go after game specific, or I don't know, men's trainers, black men's trainers, white men's trainers, whatever. There's
common sense involved too.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that what you're telling me?
And as long as those dollars are coming in and keeping the guys that pay the bills happy days.
But that didn't. Yeah, going after games, it was like, okay, what? Yeah, the guy who put me onto that had big success for crypto casino, and then we had to go and try that. Yeah. Of course, it would have been just the common sense, go down the line.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Last one, and then we will wrap up. Nizam is tuning in from Dubai. Google is a Google business profile. I can't fucking roll that off my tongue. It's still a Google My Business listing.
But everyone calls it that.
Yeah. Is it still worth it for realtors here? And since most buyers are expats, is Arabic SEO even relevant, or should we just double down on English? I kind of think you've kind of answered that yourself, Nizam. Certainly the second part, if Chris Palmer wants to move to Dubai, is he going to be Googling in Arabic? Not a fucking chance in hell. Me, Chris, or most of these other guys ain't going to be doing it. But is there traffic there? Are there people from the UK who do search in Arabic? That's what you need to try and establish.
Yeah, I think on that point for the should I have like two versions? Like who's already spent the money and the time and has the blueprint? Maybe having both versions is just relevant for the SERPs, right? Like maybe to be highly relevant, I should have both versions because there's a magnitude of people coming to Dubai, right? I want to service everybody, right?
Yeah.
So I think I would look at the big winners that have already gone through it and they're winning. And then the second piece, real estate, I can't speak on Dubai, but at least here, are real estate agents, organic, forget it. Unless you're like doing, 8 safest neighborhoods with pools, right? Or whatever.
Yep.
As far as like the GBP or maps is everything for a real estate agent. The ones that, but the problem there is there's so many that are licensed in areas is the person who wins is whoever has the most. So it's like pick your area, pick your neighborhood very wisely, and then get another one. So here, yes, maps is very, very important. Like massively important. Other than, for a while there, the strategy was go after like best school districts, your like nuances of neighborhoods, houses that are in historical districts. But now Google's just snatching up all those in AI overviews and they're taking away the links. So yeah, organic is tough. And then you're fighting Zillow and realtor.com and Redfin. Yeah, Maps is where it's at. Get as many as you possibly can. And then go see the winners for your strategy on different languages. But how hard is it to make an href link? Make a version and duplicate it 1 trillion times in every flipping language. I don't care where they come from. If they're looking for a spot in Dubai, I have the answer.
Yeah. But hopefully that helps you, Nizam. But yeah.
There you go.
There we have it.
See you, Franklin.
Thank you, Franklin. But we are also having to go now. But it warmed up. It
did. Yeah.
So yeah, guys, thank you very much for your questions. If you're watching later on, stick some questions down below. We can even answer them next week. And before we go, do check out the news guy. The link is below. The logo is above. And also check out Mr. Chris Palmer SEO on any social media platform, or just go to chrispalmer.org. But like we spoke about earlier, he's got a lot of good videos out there and stuff. So go check him out on YouTube and see what other knowledge he's shelling out there. And we'll catch you at the same time next week, everyone.
See you next week.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.